Cyrus was born November 23, 1992, in Franklin, Tennessee, to Leticia Tish Jean Finley, who is of Irish-American Roman Catholic heritage, and country singer Billy Ray Cyrus, who is of Scots-Irish-American Presbyterian heritage. Her parents married the year following her birth. Cyrus was born with supraventricular tachycardia, a condition causing an abnormal resting heart rate. Her birth name, Destiny Hope, expressed her parents' belief that she would accomplish great things. Her parents nicknamed her Smiley, which they later shortened to Miley, because she often smiled as an infant. In 2008, she legally changed her name to Miley Ray Cyrus. Her middle name honors her grandfather, Democratic politician Ronald Ray Cyrus from Kentucky. Cyrus' godmother is singer-songwriter Dolly Parton. Against the advice of her father's record company, Cyrus' parents secretly married on December 28, 1993, a year after her birth. They had 2 more children together, son Brayson and daughter Noah. From previous relationships, her mother has 2 other children, Brandy and Trace. Her father's first child, Christopher Cody, was born in April 1992 and grew up with his mother, Kristen Lucky, in South Carolina. All of Cyrus' maternal siblings are established entertainers. Trace is a vocalist and guitarist for the electronic pop band Metro Station. Noah is an actress and, along with Brayson, models, singers, and songwriters. Brandy was formerly a musician for the indie rock band Frank Plus Dural and is a professional DJ. The Cyrus farmhouse is located on 500 acres of land outside Nashville, Tennessee. Cyrus attended Heritage Elementary School in Williamson County, when her family lived in Thompson Station, Tennessee. When she was cast in Hannah Montana, the family moved to Los Angeles, where she attended options for youth charter schools and studied with a private tutor on set. Raised Christian, she was baptized in a Southern Baptist church before moving to Hollywood in 2005. She attended church regularly while growing up and wore a purity ring. In 2001, when Cyrus was 8, she and her family moved to Toronto, Canada, while her father filmed the television series Doc. After Billy Ray took her to see a 2001 Mervish production of Mamma Mia. At the Royal Alexandra Theatre, Cyrus grabbed his arm and told him, "This is what I want to do, Daddy. I want to be an actress." She began singing and acting lessons at the Armstrong Acting Studio in Toronto. Cyrus' first acting role was as Kylie in her father's television series Doc. In 2003, she received credit under her birth name for her role as young Ruthie in Tim Burton's Big Fish. During this period, she auditioned with Taylor Lautner for the feature film The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lavagirl in 3D. Although she was one of 2 finalists for the role, she chose to appear in Hannah Montana instead. Her mother took on the role of Miley's manager and worked to acquire a team to build her daughter's career. Cyrus signed with Mitchell Gossett, director of the youth division at Cunningham Escott Slevin Doherty. Gossett is often credited with discovering Cyrus and played a key role in her auditioning for Hannah Montana. She later signed with Jason Morey of Morey Management Group to handle her music career, having been directed to him by Dolly Parton. She hired her father's finance manager as part of her team. Cyrus auditioned for the Disney Channel television series Hannah Montana when she was 11 years old. She auditioned for the role of the title character's best friend, but was called to audition for the lead role instead. Despite being denied the part at first because she was too small and too young for the role, she was later cast as the lead because of her singing and acting abilities. The series premiered in March 2006 to the largest audience for a Disney Channel program and quickly ranked among the highest-rated series on basic cable. The success of the series led to Cyrus being labeled a teen idol. She toured with the Cheetah Girls as Hannah Montana in September 2006, performing songs from the show's first season. Walt Disney Records released a soundtrack credited to Cyrus' character in October of that year. The record was a commercial success, topping the Billboard 200 chart in the United States. It went on to sell over 3 million copies worldwide. With the release of the soundtrack, Cyrus became the first act within the Walt Disney Company to have deals in television, film, consumer products, and music. Cyrus signed a 4-album recording contract with Hollywood Records to distribute her non-Hannah Montana soundtrack music. She released the 2-disc album Hannah Montana 2, Meet Miley Cyrus in June 2007. The first disc was credited as the second soundtrack by Hannah Montana, while the second disc served as Cyrus' debut studio album. The album became her second to reach the top of the Billboard 200, and has sold over 3 million copies since its release. Months after the release of the project, See You Again was released as the lead single from the album. The song was a commercial success, and has sold over 2 million copies in the United States since its release. Cyrus and friend Mandy Giroux began posting videos on the popular website YouTube in February 2008, referring to the clips as The Miley and Mandy Show. The videos garnered a large online following. In April 2008, several images of Cyrus in her underwear and swimsuit were leaked by a teenage hacker who accessed her Gmail account. Further controversy arose when it was reported that Cyrus, then aged 15, had posed topless during a photo shoot with Annie Leibovitz for Vanity Fair. The New York Times later clarified that although the shots left the impression that she was bare-breasted, Cyrus was wrapped in a bed sheet and was not topless. Cyrus went on to release her second studio album, Breakout, in June of that year. The album earned the highest first-week sales of her career thus far and became her third to top the Billboard 200. Cyrus later starred with John Travolta in the animated film Bolt, her debut as a film actress. She also co-wrote the song I Thought I Lost You for the film, which she sings as a duet with Travolta. The film was a critical and commercial success and earned her a Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Original Song. In March 2009, Cyrus released The Climb as a single from the soundtrack to the Hannah Montana feature film. It was met with a warm critical and commercial reaction, becoming a crossover hit in both pop and country music formats. The soundtrack, which features the single, went on to become Cyrus' fourth entry to top the Billboard 200. At age 16, she became the youngest artist in history to have 4 #1 albums on the chart. She released her fourth soundtrack as Hannah Montana in July 2009, which debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200. Cyrus later launched her first fashion line, Miley Cyrus and Max Azria, through Walmart. Hoping to foster a more mature image, Cyrus starred in the film The Last Song in 2010, based on the Nicholas Sparks novel. It was met with negative critical reviews but was a box office hit. Cyrus further attempted to shift her image with the release of her third studio album, Can't Be Tamed. The album featured a more dance-oriented sound than her prior releases and stirred a considerable amount of controversy over its lyrical content and Cyrus' live performances. It sold 106,000 copies in its first week of release and became her first studio album not to top the Billboard 200 chart in the United States. Due to the controversy surrounding the release, the album's second and final single, Who Owns My Heart, was released solely in German territories. Cyrus released her final soundtrack as Hannah Montana that October. It was a commercial failure. Cyrus hosted the March 5, 2011 episode of Saturday Night Live, where she poked fun at her recent controversies. That November, it was announced that Cyrus would voice Mavis in the animated film Hotel Transylvania. However, by February 2012 she was dropped out of the project and replaced with Selena Gomez. At the time, Cyrus attributed her departure to wanting to work on her music, but several years later she revealed the real reason behind her exit was because she bought her then-boyfriend Liam Hemsworth a birthday cake shaped like a penis and licked it. She later made an appearance on the MTV television series Punk'd with Kelly Osbourne and Khloe Kardashian. Cyrus released a string of live performances known as the Backyard Sessions on YouTube during the spring and summer of 2012. The performances were of classic songs she personally liked. Having begun working on a failed fourth album the previous year, Cyrus resumed working on a new musical project in late 2012. She collaborated with producers Rock Mafia on their song, Morning Sun, which was made available for free download online. In 2013, Cyrus hired Larry Rudolph to be her manager. Although she is currently managed by Maverick's Adam Labor, Rudolph is best known for representing Britney Spears. It was confirmed that Cyrus had signed a recording contract with RCA Records for her future releases. She worked with producers such as Pharrell Williams and Mike Will made it on her fourth studio album, resulting in a hip-hop-influenced sound. She collaborated with numerous hip-hop artists' releases and appeared on the Snoop Lion song, Ashtrays and Heartbreaks, released as the lead single from his 12th studio album, Reincarnated. She collaborated with Will.i.am on the song, Fall Down, released as a promotional single that same month. The song entered the Billboard Hot 100 at number 58, marking her first appearance on the chart since Can't Be Tamed. She provided guest vocals on the Lil Twist song, Twerk, which also featured vocals by Justin Bieber. The song was unreleased for unknown reasons but leaked online. On May 23, 2013, it was confirmed that Cyrus would be featured on the Mike Will Made It single 23, with Wiz Khalifa and Juicy J. The single went on to peak at number 11 on the Hot 100, and had sold over 1 million copies worldwide as of 2013. Cyrus released her new single, We Can't Stop, on June 3. Touted as her comeback single, it became a worldwide commercial success, topping charts in territories such as the United Kingdom. The song's music video set the Vivo record for most views within 24 hours of release and became the first to reach 100 million views on the site. Cyrus performed with Robin Thicke at the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards, a performance that resulted in widespread media attention and public scrutiny. Her simulated sex acts with a foam finger were described as disturbing, and the whole performance as cringe-worthy. On January 29, 2014, she played an acoustic concert show on MTV Unplugged, performing songs from Bangers featuring a guest appearance by Madonna. It became the highest-rated MTV Unplugged in the past decade, with over 1.7 million streams. Cyrus was also featured in the Marc Jacobs Spring 2014 campaign along with Natalie Westling and Esmeralda Say Reynolds. She launched her controversial Bangers tour that year, which was positively received by critics. 2 months into her tour, Cyrus' Alaskan Clay Kai was found mauled to death at her home after fighting with a coyote. The trauma from the incident inspired her to dedicate her life to veganism. 2 weeks later, Cyrus suffered an allergic reaction to the antibiotic cephalexin, prescribed to treat a sinus infection, resulting in her hospitalization in Kansas City. Though she rescheduled some of her U.S. tour dates, she resumed the tour 2 weeks later, beginning with the European leg. While collaborating with the Flaming Lips on their remake of the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, with a little help from My F. Wens, Cyrus began working with Wayne Coyne on her 5th studio album. She claimed that she was taking her time to focus on the music, and that the album would not be released until she felt it was ready. Coyne compared his collaborative material with Cyrus to the catalogs of Pink Floyd and Portishead and described their sound as being a slightly wiser, sadder, more true version of Cyrus' pop music output. Cyrus also worked on the films The Night Before and A Very Merry Christmas during this period. Both roles were cameos. Reports began to surface in 2015 that Cyrus was working on 2 albums simultaneously, one of which she hoped to release at no charge. This was confirmed by her manager, who claimed she was willing to end her contract with RCA Records if they refused to let her release a free album. Cyrus was the host of the 2015 MTV Video Music Awards, making her its first openly pansexual host, and gave a surprise performance of a new song, Do It, during the show's finale. Immediately following the performance, Cyrus announced that her 5th studio album, Miley Cyrus and Her Dead Pets, was available for free streaming on SoundCloud. The album was written and produced primarily by Cyrus, and has been called experimental and psychedelic, with elements of psychedelic pop, psychedelic rock, and alternative pop. In 2016, following the release of her 5th studio album the previous year, Cyrus resumed working on her 6th studio effort. She was a key advisor during the 10th season of the reality singing competition The Voice. In March, Cyrus had signed on as a coach for the 11th season of The Voice as a replacement for Gwen Stefani. Cyrus became the youngest coach to appear in any incarnation of the series. In September 2016, Cyrus co-starred in Crisis in 6 Scenes, a television series Woody Allen created for Amazon Studios. She played a radical activist who causes chaos in a conservative 1960s household while hiding from the police. On September 17, 2016, she appeared on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon and covered Bob Dylan's Baby, I'm in the Mood for You. Cyrus also had an uncredited voice cameo as Mainframe in the superhero film Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2, released in May 2017. On May 11, 2017, Cyrus released Malibu as the lead single from her 6th album. The single debuted at number 64 on the Billboard Hot 100 and peaked at number 10 on the chart on its second week. On June 9, Cyrus released Inspired after performing the song at the One Love Manchester benefit concert. It served as a promotional single from the album. On August 8, Cyrus announced that her sixth studio album would be titled Younger Now and would be released on September 29, 2017. The album's title track was released as the second single from the album on August 18 and debuted and peaked at number 79 on the Billboard Hot 100. On August 27, Cyrus performed the track at the 2017 MTV Video Music Awards. Before the release of Younger Now in September 2017, Cyrus expressed she was already 2 songs deep on the next album. Producers attached to her seventh studio album included previous collaborator Mike Will Made It and new collaborators Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt. Her first collaboration with Ronson, Nothing Breaks Like a Heart, from his 2019 album Late Night Feelings, was released on November 29, 2018. On May 31, 2019, Cyrus tweeted that her seventh studio album would be titled She Is Miley Cyrus and would comprise 3 6-song EPs, which would be released before the full-length album. She Is Coming on May 31, She Is Here in the Summer, and She Is Everything in the Fall. She Is Coming debuted at number 5 on the U.S. Billboard 200 with 36,000 album equivalent units, while the single Mother's Daughter entered at number 54 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. Cyrus starred in Rachel, Jack and Ashley 2, an episode of the Netflix science fiction series Black Mirror, which she filmed in South Africa in November 2018. It was released on Netflix on June 5, 2019. In the episode, she played fictional pop star Ashley O and provided the voice for her AI doll extension, Ashley 2. The music video for the song On a Roll from the episode was released on June 13. The song itself and the B-side, Right Where I Belong, were released to digital platforms the next day. Cyrus won a 2020 Webby Special Achievement Award. In October 2020, she revealed to be working on a Metallica cover album. She had previously covered the band's Nothing Else Matters during her 2019 Glastonbury set. On November 19, 2020, Cyrus released Prisoner, the second single from her seventh studio album Plastic Hearts featuring Dua Lipa alongside the music video. The November 27 album launch included the previously released mashup of Midnight Sky with Stevie Nicks' Edge of 17, on which Nicks provides guest vocals, as well as Cyrus live covers of Blondie's Heart of Glass and the Cranberries' Zombie. On February 7, 2021, Cyrus and special guests will perform at the first TikTok tailgate show in Tampa, Florida before the Super Bowl 55 for 7,500 vaccinated healthcare workers, which is set to be aired on both TikTok and CBS. Cyrus has shown support for the Black Lives Matter movement by sharing links and resources on social media, donning a Black Lives Matter face mask, and attending protests amid the killing of George Floyd. Cyrus is the founder of the Happy Hippie Foundation, which works to fight injustice facing homeless youth, LGBTQ youth and other vulnerable populations. Since 2014, the foundation has served nearly 1,500 homeless youth in Los Angeles, reached more than 25,000 LGBTQ youth and their families with resources about gender, and provided social services to transgender individuals, youth in conflict zones, and people affected by crisis situations. Cyrus came out as pansexual to her mother at age 14 and has said, "I never want to label myself. I am ready to love anyone that loves me for who I am. I am open." From 2013 to 2019, Cyrus followed a strict vegan diet. She professed in September 2020 to no longer being a vegan, for health reasons. Cyrus currently identifies as a pescatarian.